mean, history says take the Texans to cover in this game. Lamar Jackson's 1-9 against the spread as a favorite of 7 points or more. And there's definitely a path to the Ravens to absolutely dominate the Texans throughout this game, but I'm not going to rely on that. I'm going to go with taking the points here with the Houston Texans. When you look at Houston, though, they are only here really because of C.J. Stroud in this passing game. They need to run the ball better. They struggle against the pass. They struggle against the run. They rank 24th in defensive real quarterback rating and 23rd in defensive rusher rating, according to coldhardfootballfacts.com. And the Ravens have been excellent in nearly every aspect of the game. Jackson's going to win MVP, has excellent weapons to work with, and the team's getting after it on defense. The Ravens are second in defensive passer rating. They're first in defensive real quarterback rating. They've just been fantastic this season. But overall, I'm still going to lean towards the Houston Texans. They haven't proven, they have proven that they're not going to back down. They're going to step up, and 9.5 points is a lot, especially in a playoff game. When you look at this trend for Lamar Jackson being 1-9 against the spread as a favor of 7 points or more, it's going to take a fantastic effort from Nico Collins to get the job done, especially with Tank Dell not in the lineup. Collins had 7 catches for 96 yards last week against one of the best defenses in the NFL in the Cleveland Browns, 195 the week before that against the Indianapolis Colts. So also going to look to his prop here to go over 80.5 receiving yards. I think if the Houston Texans cover this 9.5 point line, it's going to take a big day from him as well. So pairing those two plays together. It's definitely a tough thought process, right? Like teams coming off that bye have not performed great over the history of the playoffs. But at the same time, too, you have Jordan Love, a rookie quarterback, a really young Packers team. Yes, they've answered the call as of late, but still, this is a different spot going against the San Francisco 49ers. But the bottom line here and why I'm going with the Packers is Jordan Love. To cover, at least, like you said, not probably going to win this game outright. I do think the San Francisco 49ers find a way to win this football game, but I think it's going to be close, and Jordan Love is a big reason for that. Finished 7th this season in passing yards, 4,200, second in touchdowns, he had 32. He was 9th in QBR, just a really good effort from him. The Green Bay Packers have found their quarterback of the future. That was probably a little shaky earlier in the season, but he came on strong in the second half. The 49ers are great against the pass. They're slightly weaker against the run, and this is an area I think Green Bay can exploit a little bit as well with Aaron Jones. The 49ers ranked 13th in defensive rusher rating, according to coldhardfootballfacts.com. So I think there's opportunities for the Packers to score. Now, with that being said, they still need to shut down this 49ers team, which is not going to be easy. I think Christian McCaffrey is going to have a massive day because the biggest weakness for the Packers is their run defense. But at the same time, too, I think that also helps them cover because if the 49ers slow this game down, pound the rock with Christian McCaffrey, and the Packers can answer just a little bit on offense, I do think they find a way to cover. Also like Christian McCaffrey to go over 89.5 rushing yards here because of how bad that Packers front seven is against the run. He has 3 100-yard games in his past 5 and gone over this number in 4 of his past 5. Should have no problem doing it against the Packers. When you look at the Buccaneers, they're not getting a lot of respect in the market by any means against a Lions team that is good, yes, but there are holes with this Detroit Lions team that Tampa Bay and Baker Mayfield can exploit. But I'm going to look at the under in this game of 48.5. It's probably my favorite play of the weekend. Games exceed the total because of touchdowns in the red zone. When field goals are attempted, it doesn't usually get over. And these two teams pair perfectly for field goals and also some stupid decisions by Dan Campbell, which will probably leave some points off the board. Tampa Bay is 4th in least red zone touchdowns allowed. They also struggle mightily offensively in the red zone. Even last week when the Buccaneers dominated the Eagles, they struggled to score in the red zone. Tampa Bay is all about explosive plays. This has been their MO all season long. The Lions defense could be better, but I think they have a great opportunity to tighten up in the red zone against that struggling Buccaneers offense. And then the Lions offense is one of the best in the red zone. But at the same time, too, Tampa Bay is going to give them a challenge inside the 20-yard line. Dan Campbell, again, bound to make aggressive decisions. That leaves points off the board. I know it hasn't necessarily hurt him. Last week went for it on 4th down, and they scored. But there's going to be times where he goes for it and doesn't settle for a field goal, and that is going to lead points off the board, leading to an under here. Tampa Bay 12-6 to the under this season. The Lions have gone under in 2 of their past 3 games. And then a prop to watch in this one, Cade Otton to go over 28.5 receiving yards. I don't think many people knew who Cade Otton was last week before he burst onto the scene. He had a career game. He caught 8 catches for 89 yards, also dropped a couple catches, could have had well over 100. I just don't think he was used to this much production because that has not been the case for him this season. But for the Buccaneers to win, they need to get him the football. They need to throw the football just like they did. Chris Godwin and Mike Evans are going to be covered. They're going to be emphasized by this Detroit Lions defense, and it should leave Otton open underneath. So 28.5 for what he did last week. I think this is a very low line. Buccaneers Buccaneers stick with that same strategy.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on this. I was just scrolling through Twitter. I saw ESPN bet might have had 3.5 in favor of the Bills there. So if you do like the Chiefs, it's probably a good place to play them if that is true. But I'm looking at the Bills here, -2.5, best spot to play that. There are a few, obviously. 2.5 is that pretty consistent number across the board right now. The Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes have absolutely owned Josh Allen and the Bills in the playoffs. Mahomes 2-0 over Allen in the playoffs. We go back. We remember the game where Josh Allen didn't touch the ball, cost the Bills a trip to the Super Bowl. He's been unbelievable, though. He's been really great down the final stretch of the season. He is the reason that the Buffalo Bills are in the spot, and he deserves respect. And Mahomes also never played a road playoff game, which is a testament to him and how dominant he has been, that he's never had to go on the road. But this is not an easy place to go. And I know Mahomes is probably going to be able to handle it, but Bills Mafia is going to be absolutely rocking in this football game. And the Bills have also been in playoff mode for weeks, and I think that makes a huge difference. They know their backs are against the wall. They've been against the wall since the final game of the season, or until the final game of the season when they won the AFC East. So they're battle tested and they're playing well. As good as the Chiefs have played recently, pounding the ball with Pacheco, when you look at the advanced metrics, Allen has outplayed Mahomes all season. Mahomes has 14 picks. Allen has 18 picks. Throw those aside, though. They're both turning the ball over. When it comes down to it, Allen is third in real quarterback rating. Mahomes is ninth, according to coldhardfootballfacts.com. The Bills create a lot more explosive plays, and they also are more efficient when it comes down getting in the red zone and creating those scoring opportunities. So going to lean towards the Bills here for -2.5. I think they finally get it done in the playoffs.
With a